The address on the hotel confirmation was 41.12 Dunmore Lane. Sarah had typed it into Maps before boarding. Force of habit, she told herself. But Dunmore Lane wasn't a hotel district. It had a HOA. It had, as she would discover at 6:47 on a Thursday in October, a woman in a flour-dusted apron answering the front door, 2 children visible behind her in the hallway, and a man's jacket on the hook by the door, the one Sarah had bought him for Christmas. Marcus Webb had been married to Sarah for 11 years. The problem was, so had Marcus Hale. Same man, different zip code, 7 years running. Marcus Webb was the kind of man people trusted immediately. Broad shoulders, easy laugh, remembered everyone's name the second time he met them. He worked in regional logistics, long-haul freight coordination, which meant, practically speaking, that he was gone. Tuesday through Friday. Most weeks, most months, for the better part of a decade. Sarah knew this when she married him. She'd factored it into her life. The quiet weekdays, the full weekends, the way his absence made the presence matter more. By most measurements, they were happy. By most measurements. It started with a receipt for $840 at a children's clothing store in Memphis. Sarah found it in the pocket of his jacket while doing laundry. She almost threw it out without looking. She didn't. When she asked him about it, Marcus didn't hesitate. Client had a kid, he said. Birthday. Company card. She nodded. She believed him. She kept the receipt. Phoenix in the summer is brutal. Their house had a pool, neither of them used enough. Sarah taught 3rd grade. Marcus coordinated freight. Their life had the texture of something real. Dinner on Sundays, a dog named Porter. Arguments about whose turn it was to call the plumber. He was a good husband when he was home. That's the part that took Sarah the longest to process. 3 months after the receipt, she found the phone. It was in the center console of his truck, under a gym membership card he'd stopped using. A prepaid, cheap, 14 contacts, all saved with initials. One of them was saved as C, the last text from C sent 9 days earlier. The boys asked when you're coming back. I told them Thursday. Marcus didn't have children. Sarah had been told, gently, carefully, at a fertility clinic in 2019, that she couldn't. She didn't confront him. Not yet. Instead, she opened his email. She knew the password, had always known it, had never used it, and found the reservation confirmations. Memphis. Every week. Always the same neighborhood. Always 41/12 Dunmore Lane. She booked a flight for the following Thursday. She told her sister she was visiting a friend. She told no one else. The flight was 2 hours and 14 minutes. She spent most of it staring at the seatback tray table. A woman in her early 30s answered, flour on her apron, brown hair pulled back. 2 boys, maybe 5 and 7, visible in the hallway behind her, watching cartoons. And on the hook by the door, a dark jacket, North Face, the one Sarah had given Marcus for Christmas 2 years ago. She recognized the small tear on the left pocket she'd been meaning to sew up. The woman looked at Sarah. Sarah looked at the jacket. "Can I help you?" the woman said. Sarah's voice, when it came, surprised her with how steady it was. "My name is Sarah Webb. I'm Marcus's wife." A pause. 3 seconds, maybe 4. "My name is Claire Hale," the woman said. "I'm Marcus's wife." They sat across from each other at Claire's kitchen table. Claire made tea. Neither of them drank it. Marcus had 2 names. Marcus Webb in Arizona, Sarah's husband. Marcus Hale in Tennessee, Claire's. Different last names filed separately. No overlap in the paperwork. He had paid Memphis rent in cash for the first 2 years, then switched to a secondary account Claire thought was a freight company bonus. $2,400 a month for 7 years. The boys were 5 and 7. Their names were Eli and Noah. They were in the living room. They thought their father was coming home in 2 days. He arrived at 7:23 p.m. Sarah heard the truck before she saw him. She recognized the engine. The front door opened. Marcus stepped inside, bag over his shoulder, already saying something. "Claire, I stopped at," and then he saw them, both of them, at the same table. He stood in the doorway for what felt like a full minute, though it was probably 5 seconds. The bag dropped from his shoulder without him seeming to notice. He didn't run. He didn't cry. He sat down in the third chair at the table. That was almost the worst part, Claire would later say. That he sat down. He said he had meant to end it. He said both of those things about both of them. He said he loved his sons. He said he loved Sarah. He said he'd been trying to find a way out that didn't destroy everything. Sarah asked him one question. Which name is real? He didn't answer right away. When he did, he said, both of them. Claire asked him to leave. He did. Investigators pieced together the logistics. Marcus Webb had a Social Security number. So did Marcus Hale, a second number, obtained fraudulently in 2016 using a childhood address in rural Kentucky that no longer existed. 2 driver's licenses, 2 phone plans, 2 sets of tax returns filed through 2 different accountants in 2 different states. He had never slipped, not once in 7 years. The only thing that undid him was a hotel confirmation sent to the wrong email, a single misdirected notification, and a wife who looked up the address. The legal process took 14 months. Marcus Webb Hale pleaded guilty to federal identity fraud and bigamy. He was sentenced to 4 years, with eligibility for parole after 18 months. Eli and Noah saw him through a glass partition, twice, before Claire decided the visits were doing more damage than absence would. Sarah sold the house in Phoenix. She moved closer to her sister. Porter, the dog, went with her. Sarah and Claire exchanged numbers the night it happened. Neither of them planned to use them. 6 weeks later, Claire called. She needed a financial document the lawyers required from Marcus's Phoenix records. Sarah helped her find it. They talked for 2 hours. They still talk. Not often, but when one of them has a day that no one else could understand, they know the other one picks up. People ask what the lesson is. There usually has to be one. Maybe it's, know who you married. Except Sarah thought she did. Claire thought she did. They were both attentive, intelligent women who had simply been given a performance designed to pass inspection. The lie wasn't in the details. The lie was in the architecture, built carefully enough that the details always made sense. Marcus Webb, Marcus Hale. Same man. 7 years. 2 families who thought they knew exactly where he was. He was always, in some sense, exactly where he said he was. The question is, which address was home? Marcus is scheduled for release in 8 months. Neither Sarah nor Claire has said what they'll do if he calls. I won't tell you what to feel about him. I will ask you this. Is what he did unforgivable? Or does the fact that he loved both families in his way change anything? That's not a rhetorical question. I've watched people split down the middle on it. Comment below. Tell me where you land. And if stories like this one matter to you, the ones that don't have clean answers, subscribe. We tell one every week. The people in them deserve to be heard.